Hello and welcome back to Steps of Sussex. I am back. So, I have broken away from my reading of Finding Freedom to talk about, obviously, people who were talking in my last video about Harry and Meghan purchasing a home and have been in a home in Santa Barbara, I should say, for 6 weeks now. So, what I wanted to do was to find the source article of this, which actually was page 6. It was page 6 news, and it was an article by Emily Smith. So what I want to do is talk about it and discuss it. So again, this is a live chat, so please leave your comments and your thoughts, and I will try and read as many as I possibly can. It's still sweltering here in the UK. We are going through a mini heat wave. So I'm really hot, so I'm probably a little bit clammy and sticky and sweaty and I feel disgusting. So let's just get on with this article right here. Anyway, so Prince Harry and Meghan secretly buy a family home in Santa Barbara. Now, first of all, I will say I am not really familiar with certain areas in the US. However, I do know that Santa Barbara is a very affluent area where many celebrities go to live. So I think Oprah has a home there and lots of different celebrities, and I think homes can range from about 1.5 million all the way up to Oprah's home, which people have said is worth over $100 million. So there we go. Anyway, the article says Prince Harry and Meghan have secretly bought a private family home in Santa Barbara. Well, first of all, I have a little bit of an issue with the word secretly, because what did people expect them to do? You know, literally take out a full-page advertisement in a newspaper, or, you know, produce their own television advert saying, we have bought a new home. So I think secretly is the wrong word to use there. I think it should be, if I was rewriting this article, it would be Prince Harry and Meghan have purchased a private family home in Santa Barbara, the place they have chosen to put down their permanent roots and to bring up their son Archie after leaving the British royal family. Well, of course, you know, Harry and Meghan, of course, were staying at the invitation of Tyler Perry in his home in LA, and of course they ran into many problems with drones and the press. They had to put screens up and all the rest of it. So we knew that Harry and Meghan were not going to stay in, you know, accommodation owned by friends. So we knew that they were going to put down their roots at some point. Obviously, COVID hit, and any plans that they were, you know, trying to do were kind of put on hold for a while. But if they've already been in there about 6 weeks, one can estimate that, you know, depending on how quick the legal systems move, I know in the UK it can take roughly on average about 3 months to complete on a sale. I have no idea how quick things can get moving in the US. If somebody could enlighten me, that would really help. But probably maybe they had found or viewed online or something or other, maybe even before COVID. I don't know. Anyway, they have bought this house. So, page 6 can exclusively reveal that Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been living for 6 weeks in their own home in the upscale California community, which is also home to their friends Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres. Amid much speculation that the couple would buy a place in LA, a source has told page 6, Harry and Meghan have been quietly living in their own home in Santa Barbara since early July. So, about 6 weeks. They are not house guests of Oprah or anyone else. They bought this home themselves. This is where they want to continue their lives after leaving the UK. This is the first home either of them have ever owned outright. It has been a very special time for them as a couple and as a family to have complete privacy for 6 weeks since they moved in. And I'm sure that will have been a really good blessing for them. They intend to put down their roots in this house, so obviously a home that they intend to have for many years to come. And apparently it's a very quiet community which has considerable privacy. This is where they want to bring Archie up, where they hope he can have as normal a life as possible. The source adds, Harry and Meghan never intended to make LA their home. It was a good place for them to be upon their arrival in the US to be close to Meghan's mom, who obviously Doria lives in LA. The source would not reveal details of the home, such as the price they paid or even the location. Now, I think other news publications have been doing a little bit of digging, and what other publications are estimating is that Harry and Meghan have paid about $8 million for the home. Now, what I would say is that cannot be corroborated. Perhaps, maybe, the news publications have learned of the actual house that they've bought. But certainly, at the moment, at least, it remains private for Harry and Meghan. So, whether or not they know the actual residence and how much it cost, I don't know. But certainly the figure that's being put out there is round about 8 million. So this is the place where they plan to be happy. They've researched it. They want Archie to make good friends and to give him the chance to play with children his own age. There we go, and just I'm skipping through some of the bits that we already know about it. The article goes on about the lawsuits and all that kind of thing, and the breaches of privacy they suffered at Tyler Perry's home. So, this is the bit that kind of confirmed it for me, obviously. I wouldn't normally read this sort of article without having a confirmation from a good source. So, when reached for comment, a spokesperson for the couple confirmed. So, a spokesperson has confirmed. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex moved into their family home in July of this year. They have settled into the quiet privacy of their community since their arrival and hope that this will be respected for their neighbours as well as for them as a family. So, they have actually corroborated this story via a spokesperson. Now, other news publications are claiming that through royal insiders that Prince Charles has in fact paid for the home. Now, when I actually dug a little bit further and I read the articles that are saying this, what they actually say is that Prince Charles has helped them to secure the property. So, what I'm thinking is that Prince Charles has not paid for the entire home. I think what Prince Charles might have done is help with a pretty substantial deposit on the home. Help to secure the property, to me, means deposit. Now, depending on how much, this property is worth, could be quite a hefty deposit. I know in the UK now, lenders are asking for between 10 and 20% deposit. I don't know if that is the case in the US. I'm sure someone can enlighten me on that one. But I'm thinking perhaps Charles, maybe contributed towards the actual deposit. Now, Harry and Meghan, of course, have money of their own. Harry was left a really big legacy, which he inherited from his mother, the late Princess Diana. Also, he inherited a little bit of a legacy from the Queen Mother. Meghan, of course, has money in her own right. We also do not know how much money they have earned from different bits and bobs that they may have done behind the scenes. They may have had advances on things since stepping back as senior royals. We do not know, obviously, if they have a mortgage or whether, they paid something outright. I don't know. But I would presume it would be that they put down a deposit and then, are making mortgage contributions. Of course, they are also paying £18,000 a month for Frogmore Cottage for the Rental Plus agreement, which was to pay off the costs and obviously a little bit more in terms of rent. So eventually, over the course of a number of years, they will pay back that. Now, criticism has, of course, been thrown by the British media against Harry and Meghan, saying that, why are they spending money on an £8 million, estimated, rumoured, home in LA when they still haven't paid back the 2.4 million on Frogmore Cottage. I just thought I would point out that those criticisms are out there. The one thing I would say is that they are paying back Frogmore Cottage. Whether it was upfront or over a period of time, they are paying that back. And of course, in the US, they cannot expect to go from, friend's home to friend's home to friend's home that's, you know, pretty much a nomadic existence. You know, renting wouldn't be, I'd imagine you'd probably lose quite a bit of money in terms of renting. So, you know, getting a mortgage, paying a deposit seems like a really sensible thing to do, especially as we've always known that they intend to split their time between North America and the UK. Obviously, they have not been back in the UK since heading off to North America, as they put it. Krilleen says, I'm glad for them. Alicia says, you think they live near Vanessa Bryant. Okay. I mean, obviously, the location has not been confirmed, and I haven't heard actually any... I haven't actually heard any specific community that they are in, other than the greater community of Santa Barbara as general. Maddie Osa says, the Royal Insiders are the worst type of source. I mean, a couple of years ago, I would completely have agreed with you. In fact, I spent many videos saying, you know, Royal Insiders, sources, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just the journalist making things up. But, you know, it turns out that, you know, Royal Insiders may actually exist, and they may actually be putting out stories here and there. You know, maybe a palace insider did choose to reveal that Charles made a contribution towards the deposit or something of that nature. I don't know. I think now we're in a time where we have to consider all of the options. We don't have to believe them straight outright. You know, we can always scrutinise them, we can always criticise them, but I don't think we can just completely dismiss them out of hand. Everything has to be carefully considered and all of the options explored. And, you know, hopefully that's one of the things that you get from this channel and from me, is that we explore all of the options, we talk about all of the different things, all the possibilities, and we try not to make snap decisions, or we try not to, you know, go with certain narratives that may appeal to our own sensibilities or expectations or beliefs or whatever it might be, that we try and look at the facts. So the facts are that from the page 6 article, if you want to take from it what are the concrete facts, the facts are that a spokesperson for the couple have confirmed, and I'll read it again, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex moved into their family home in July this year. They have settled into the quiet privacy of their community since their arrival and hope that this will be respected for their neighbours as well as for them as a family. So, if you want to talk facts, that is the fact from Harry and Meghan, from a spokesperson. Maddie says, rich people going to do rich people things. If they combine expensive, that's their problem. I don't get what people are mad. I mean, from the context of the UK, obviously COVID, you know, pretty much lots of countries are in the same situation. We are going through, I think it's just been pretty much announced, we are going through the worst recession, you know, here in the UK ever, on record, on history. Now, of course, it's a little bit different to other recessions. We know why this one's happened, and, you know, many other countries around the world are experiencing the same thing. But when people are at food banks and all the rest of it, and then they hear about people spending, you know, all this money on properties and blah, 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 you know, it gives the tabloids fodder. It gives them tabloid fodder. You know, we know that the tabloids love to create storms, and they love to build people up and knock people down. And that's where they're going. They are using the current climate that we are in to try and spin things in the way that they want to do it. And, you know, it's important to be aware that that is what they are doing. That is what is happening. That is just the facts. The facts are that's happening. MSMB 2012 says, just the facts. That's the difference between your channel and many others. You are more than welcome. And of course, I didn't want to even touch this story until I read that there was confirmation from the Sussexes themselves. Liliane says, there's no mortgage. We don't know that. That is not a fact. You see what I mean? You're reading things from other places, forming your own opinions. You say that Charles gave them a wedding present. That's not what the other articles has said. The other articles that are claiming that Prince Charles has made a contribution said that he helped them secure the property. Now, if you secure a property, what do? You pay a deposit. You pay a deposit on a property. So, reading between the lines, again, not a fact, we don't know, but reading between the lines, if Prince Charles has helped them secure the property, I would imagine that that would be in the form of helping towards a deposit. Chibli Methos says, if they had moved into a 2-bedroom row house, people would still be mad. I'm happy they have their own place. I think it's important for Harry and Meghan to have their own place. I completely 100% agree. Security, peace of minds, and also to be able to put down roots. For the past 6 months, they haven't really had a place to call their own. They've had a home, they've had homes, but it hasn't been their home. And this is finally, their plan coming to fruition. They can have a place to put down their own roots. Nancy says, your skin looks amazing. Well, thank you. Personally, I think I look a little bit red because I was outside in the sun for an hour yesterday where I didn't anticipate being in the sun, and I hadn't had any sun cream on because I didn't know I was going to be in the sun for over an hour. So I'm feeling a little red, a little pink, but there we go. Ileana says 8 million is not a large amount for the area. I mean, again, I don't know the area too well. I've heard estimates from 1.5 million up to, Oprah's £100 million residence. So yeah, in the great scheme of things, 8 million is not a lot for the area, but still 8 million in dollars or in pounds, whichever way you're looking, is still a lot of money to someone who's, contemplating visiting a food bank. And that is what the press are going to pick up on. Creative Life says they need to put down roots and some stability for Archie. Yes, they do. His well-being is most important, and yes, it is. Annie says, great to hear they are in their own home. Blessings and prayers to Prince Harry and his family. And Karen M says, securing for the rich is purchasing because most rich don't have mortgages. Okay, so securing is purchasing. In that case then, perhaps he did. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, Prince Charles's wealth, he derives his income, his yearly income, from the Duchy of Cornwall. We know all about that. We know that the Duchy of Cornwall currently pays for the working operations of Prince Charles, Camilla, William, Catherine. It did used to pay for Harry and Meghan until they separated, and it became under Harry and Meghan came under the palace and Charles making a contribution. But the Duchy of Cornwall pays out for a lot of working royals' operations, shall we say. Also, it derives a private income as well. Prince Charles, does have private money, but we do not know the extent of exactly how much that private money is. If you were making a gift of £8 million, which is probably in the region of about, are we talking dollars? $8 million is probably, in the region of about £10 million or something of that nature. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to pay out. I'm not saying Prince Charles doesn't have that money, but it would certainly be a lot of money to be paying out in one complete lump, shall I say. The royals are not necessarily as wealthy as people think they are. So although, it's doable, I wouldn't say, 8 million is still a large chunk for Charles. It's not small change, is what I'm saying. Especially when Harry and Meghan are estimated to have their own money. We know pretty much how much Harry has inherited from his mother. So they probably, if it was 8 million, they probably between them would have had enough to pay for that anyway, outright. Warrior says they are not responsible for people like me using food bank. No, they are not. But what is happening is the press is picking up on and comparing it to in the way that they do. It's not right, it's not okay, but that is what they do. That is the truth of what is being said. So, in the purpose of balance, we have to talk about everything. Wouldn't $8 million be less in GDP? Do you know what? I will do a calculation. bear with. We will do a currency converter. So, I'll do it now. So, $8 million into Great British Pounds. So, we want 8 and 6 noughts. There we go. Let's have a look. So, $8 million in pounds. Yes, it is less. You're right. It was £6 million. So, again, it's still not a small chunk of money, even for Prince Charles. 6 million, just to give as a gift, is quite a hefty sum of money. Not impossible, but it is still one hefty chunk of change. Leslie says, I thought when Diana died, she left 30 million for Harry. No, what it was, I think Diana got about 18 million from the divorce from Charles. And obviously, upon her death, they had to pay death taxes. And then it was split into a trust fund. And the trust fund obviously matured over the years. And it paid out, obviously, when William and Harry reached their respective ages. And who knows? We don't know exactly how much that matured into. But we are, at the time, it was expected they each got round about 12 million each, because of how the money would have been invested. So £12 million is probably more the estimate that they would have received when they came to age, after all the death taxes and everything were taken into consideration. It's only the Queen. Only monarchs in the UK do not have to pay death taxes upon inheriting. So monarch to monarch, there are no death taxes, but any other royal, there is still death taxes applicable. There we go. Just thought I would tell you all about that. So, there we go. I am going to leave that for today. I'm sure all of you are going to have lots to say on this story. So, leave your comments in the box below. And of course, I'm sure there'll be many people responding and talking all about this. I am going to finish by saying that the one thing I do hope doesn't happen is, although we know that they bought a home in Santa Barbara, I do hope that the actual home itself is not divulged by the media. The media in the UK already hinting at how much they think the property is worth kind of says to me that perhaps they actually know which property it is, but at the moment they're not saying where it is. I hope they don't. I think it will cause lots of media intrusion, possibly more drones going over. We may see a replay of what happened in Canada, what happened in Tyler Perry's mansion. So I just hope that the press do not divulge exactly the location of the home. Santa Barbara is good enough. We don't need to know any more than that. So I'm going to leave you all on that note. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. And remember, just the facts. Mwah to you all, and goodbye.